All right, guys, hello. This is episode 2 of our podcast, Nerdybossgames, where we interview different people in the gaming, anime, cosplay community, things like that, to find out how they got involved in that, how they got a career out of it, and basically what they're doing now. For today's guests, for our second episode, I got Will, who is the co-owner of Flynns Arcade. He's usually in the background.
Yeah, more in the background. Eddie's more the face. I'm more the background, getting everything ready.
He's in the shadows preparing everything, and I think it's about time that everyone got to know him a little bit more. So for today's episode, we're going to be playing Dark Souls in the background because that was a game that he liked to play a lot I wouldn't say growing up because he was more like a teenager probably.
Yeah, around teenagers, but was one of the very few games that I pretty much enjoyed and very much got into it when I would say teens and stuff like that throughout high school in the 360 days.
And for today's episode, we're going to try to speed run the game as much as we can within 2 hours or so. Now, our goal is to get to Ornstein and Smoke's fight. So we'll see how that goes and see if Will's got the skill to get there.
It's been a couple years since I played this game, so we'll see if I still remember anything or if I fail it completely.
But we are going to be going back and forth whenever someone dies, and I can tell you guys I'm pretty trash at this game, so we'll see how it goes. But I have played with my partner Nonentity, and I have beat the first one together though. Didn't do it by myself, so I kind of cheated there. Everything looks good, and we're gonna skip through the story. What do you want to name him?
Don't matter to me.
Jason, what do we name him? It's Kirby now. Doesn't matter. What class? No, we gotta start the hardest. We're gonna go full deprived.
Alright.
We gotta go as hard as possible.
Go strength build.
We're gonna make him slim. We're just gonna do random. Looks terrible. It looks perfect.
See how this goes.
Why can't I accept it?
The gift. I get to pick a gift.
Oh yeah. What would be the first good gift to use for deprived to give us a little bit of an advantage?
Maybe Master Key.
The Master Key. Now we can accept. So you'll be first to start. We're gonna skip through the story if it lets us. Okay, it does.
Alright.
And I'm gonna ask you questions while you start.
Great.
So let's get to know Will a little bit first. So what are some of the things that you like to do, that you do in your personal time when you're not managing Flynn?
To be honest, when I'm not managing Flynn's, it's really a toss-up. Literally, I do have another business that I help out and run for the construction business, so it's a little bit more of a, whenever I'm not working, I try to kind of get my bearings back in this game, but try to take it easy, try to rest. To be honest, I don't have too much downtime when I'm not at Flynn's, so it's one of those, try to take it easy, try to take a rest. I haven't really played any games in a long time, to be honest, so it's just like one of those, whenever I do get time, I'm usually either resting or everybody always asks me, what do you play? I'm like, not really too much anymore, to be honest.
Busy man, but I feel that since I do the same thing. I have my side job at a Starbucks while I do the heart container stuff. So I'm usually busy doing something.
Yeah, as you get older, more responsibilities creep up.
No, we hate responsibilities. But what do you do to entertain yourself when you are working at Flynns?
Entertain when I'm working. To be honest, it's really at Flynns, I guess, with this talk to people, more for entertainment type of deal. Usually, I don't really do much because, like I said, I'm working.
You do have your Warhammer days.
Warhammer, yes. I do play Warhammer sometimes on Sundays, but even now, so that like I do play on Sundays. I try to play, but it's just one of those things that's just it's a lot, and plus, what's it called? How should I say it? I try to, but it is very hard when you are the owner, and it's just there's a lot of you can't really do much when it's open because it's either a lot of stuff that gets in your way or what's it called?
Someone's coming and asking questions.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to
So
talk
it's
to someone,
like
and you're like,
it's
I
one
just
of
want
those.
to play Warhammer.
Like I don't mind helping out people, but it's one of those things that you can't really do both. So it's a little bit hard.
Definitely. But yeah, if you guys didn't know, Will is a big Warhammer fan. He's definitely in charge of all the Warhammer merch and stuff here.
Yeah, I usually deal with all the Warhammer. If you ever need anything, I'm usually the guy to talk to about
this is the guy. This is the guy to go to for it.
Exactly. It's so funny. I'm trying to figure out what's what in this game again.
Because you probably played on PC, right?
No, I actually played on the Xbox 360.
Oh, okay. But you still gotta get used to the PS4 controls.
Yeah, exactly.
I fell for that my first time, like going up the stairs and then getting the boulder. That was super annoying. Well, Will, tell us what it is you do at Flynns.
To be honest, like I said, it's only me and Eddie. Well, I shouldn't say me and Eddie, but me and Eddie do run it. I do a lot of the inventory, the background stuff. Eddie's more the face. I don't really do a lot of like the social media just because I choose not to, and Eddie's more the talkative person, and he's very good at talking and doing the social media.
Did you have to teach Eddie how to use social media with
Nah.
the age difference?
Oh no, to be honest, he knows more than me. I only have a Facebook and I barely have that. So
what would you say the age difference is? Like a 10-year?
10 years, so I ain't gonna say my age, but he is 10 years older than me.
you wanna tell the people at home how you met Eddie?
I could, actually it's funny because me and Eddie, we knew each other for a long time. It was actually, Eddie was my 8th grade teacher and back in high school, in middle school.
He was a teacher, guys. Eddie was a teacher.
So yeah, Eddie did teach, not gonna say what school, but it was an interesting relationship. We always kind of had the same interests. We always did the same. We used to actually play a lot of airsoft and paintball back in the day, so that's kind of how we got to know each other a little bit better through the mutual interest.
Imagine being so cool with your teacher that not only do you play airsoft and paintball with him, but you later open a business with it.
It's funny because it's just, he was not the most conventional teacher, I would say that. He was he was
the fun teacher.
He was, till this day, I still don't know how that whole 8th grade year for me was just like, it was one of those, you have those teachers that just, you look forward to that class type of deal.
Was he like an English teacher?
He was actually history.
History. Did you learn any history?
To be honest, I've always been good at history. So his class was always, that's another reason probably why we got along. He's always liked history and just like that type of stuff.
I think it's always the history teachers that are the most chill
is.
because they don't care enough. Oh, we're making the switch, guys. We're making the switch. Yeah, I think in my high school, most of my history teachers were the most chill. They would just let us do anything, and then occasionally he would be like, all right, for 30 minutes, I'm going to say some stuff. I need you to write notes. We would write notes about it. Oh, I'm also forgetting my controls. But yeah, we would just literally write notes in my high school teacher's class. Yeah. And he was literally like, all right, you guys wrote the notes. What we would do is think of a topic going on. Doesn't even have to be history related. and we would just all fight in the class about different topics. It would be like gender topics, gender specific, how women are treated now, or like the president's going on now, or whatever like main things were going on at the time. We would literally just cause a big argument about it in the class, and then some of us would not talk and do anything, and then the rest of us, we would literally just argue the rest of the class with each other, and it was fun. Like we didn't actually have to do much for that class, and I had a similar teacher in high school. I mean, in middle school, that was also like that.
I think we all had one of those teachers. Same thing with my literature teacher in high school. He used to bring up topics because he just didn't want to do anything and just let us talk or fight or do whatever amongst ourselves.
I had a slide. Or is there sliding in this one? No, we're speed running. We don't even have to kill this guy.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you gotta get your bearings back.
But okay, so at what age was Eddie like, you know what? I want to open a business and I want you to open it with me. What happened there?
Well, to be honest, this whole thing started off with me, Eddie, and another one of my friends. We used to do like pop-up events, and the kind of funny thing is I didn't even really start doing this stuff. I was always like it was one of my good friends of mine, and I used to just help them. We used to do pop-up events like it was called Retrocade, and we did some in Pompano, some in like around the you just go upstairs. You went all the way backwards.
I went backwards.
But we used to do like a whole bunch of stuff in like the Broward, Delray, maybe like Boca area. We did 3 separate events, and
well, why did you guys decide to do pop-up stuff?
It was actually one of my friend's ideas. He wanted to do like pop-up events. My friend was very much he liked to like party. He liked doing like events for people, and he liked doing like parties and stuff like that. So off topic, he's one of those like he loved to throw parties and stuff like that, and he always liked talking to people. So that's why he really got into like the whole events, and he liked gaming. So we used to do events in different places, and basically I was just there helping. I didn't really think anything of it because he asked me to help him. So yeah, you go up the stairs behind you. So I usually just kind of...
That's the boulder guy.
Nah,
or did you kill him?
But yeah, that's kind of how we kind of started. We did, like I said, we did 3 of those. And I started helping my friend, and basically, like I said, I own a construction business as well. So Eddie knew that, and we kind of stayed in contact throughout the years. And basically, I was helping Eddie redo a house.
I also got killed at around the same spot.
Yeah, but I was helping Eddie redo a house. And basically, this is about maybe it's gonna be 2018. Yeah.
It wasn't that long.
Around late 2017, I would say. Around late 2017, we kind of just, while I was helping him rebuild his house, we kind of just had this idea of, you know, could we open up an arcade for like a decent, like how much would it cost, and going through the steps of, is it worth it? Is it doable? And the thing is, my friend that started all the pop-up events, we asked him if he wanted to do it, and he didn't really have any interest in it. So basically, it wasn't even my idea; it was basically my friend's idea, and he was actually a former student of Eddie's as well.
Huh.
And basically, he didn't want to do it, so we just kind of did it ourselves, and basically, that was that. After that house that I helped him kind of redid, because he's a realtor, and that's what he was doing at the time. And after that was just more of we knew the heck.
I think you taunted.
Oh, I did. Oh. But yeah, that was kind of how that all started out. And from there was just pretty much what you see today. It took us, many people don't realize, but me and Eddie, literally, it took us a full year of planning out Flynns.
Oh, let's see if you can get the jump. I was about to say he failed it. I failed it. I think I fought this guy like 3 or 4 times. I think I needed my partner, not Eddie, to actually
Do it for you.
like do it for me. I couldn't get through them. Look at those cheeks though, double cheek though.
Yeah, but it took me and Eddie a full year of planning out everything, like saying what we're gonna do, where. Yeah, so it was a very interesting journey. We did not rush it. That's for sure.
So some questions I'm sure people would have, dang, would be, so why did you guys decide to go with an arcade specifically, and especially like an older school styled arcade instead of like a more modern style one? And what was your idea to get Flynns to be more like this compared to like some Dave and Buster's kind of thing?
So that one was just more of a how do you say it? In like, yeah, they're arcades, but they're not really arcades. They're more of the gotcha games, like the ticket games. You didn't really want to be like that because it's very few arcades have the older '80s machines, like fighters and stuff like that. We didn't really want to do that, so that's kind of the way we pushed it towards. And the thing is, like, we kind of knew we didn't want to do any prizes or like any of the little stuff you get. We kind of wanted to be a little bit more on the unique type. Is like you said, the whole arcades aren't really around anymore. The ones like Dave and Buster's and all that type of stuff, there's not a lot of stuff like that anymore. So that's kind of like how we moved in that area. And my Eddie's friend, if you were in the Boynton Beach area, you would know about a place called Nexus. And we didn't take his idea, but he was one of those. He did close a couple years ago, but we kind of basically, it wasn't like, he was more of the arcade and computers and stuff like that, and we kind of wanted to do the same thing like that, and more of a nostalgic sake too as well.
Do you think you were specifically aiming more towards adults, or do you think you guys have a basic like love for children too, and you want them to experience that kind of experience that their parents might have had in a classic arcade?
To be honest, it's kind of both. The whole reminiscence of like an older arcade, and the parents could kind of have something to do with their kids, saying like, this is what we did, or this is what we grew up with, is very different. The whole arcade is a very different than like PS4, Xbox. So you actually got to go up to the machine, and you kind of wanted to encourage more of the getting to know people through coming to a neutral place, and like that whole camaraderie of playing like a Street Fighter or a fighter on like an actual classic arcade machine, instead of going online through. I'm not saying online is bad or anything like that, but it's a much different feeling, different atmosphere of actually going up to a random guy playing like a Street Fighter or a Tekken on a older 80s stand-up machine.
I did it. It's surprisingly easier once you've played several Dark Souls games, and you know what it's like. Is it this way?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I go to the bonfire, he comes back. Would he come back?
I don't think so.
If he's back, it would be rude.
I think that's just where you open the door now.
So now we open the main door. Right?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Let me... Okay. So when you guys started, did you already have an idea to also have these modern systems and like have a mixture?
Yeah, we always said when we first started out, we always said we want to have a mixture of like both, because you don't really want to grab towards one only thing. You kind of want to have a mix of everything.
Is there like an item over here that's
there's like that bird nest, but
that is important for later. Bird nests.
But yeah, we always want to have a mixture of stuff. We always wanted to do different things, because you can't really, in my opinion, these days, you can't be like a one-trick pony. You always needed to have something else.
You always need to be improving, doing new and exciting things to get people
exactly.
in. So,
can't be stagnant.
With that in mind, how did you guys get into both the FGC community and the cosplay community for these cons?
So the cosplay was basically Eddie's good friend with Tate's, the owner of Tate's Comics, and basically we did before we even opened up, we did some comic cons. Sunrise Comic Con was actually our first Comic Con. I think that was 2018 or no, that was 2019. Sunrise Comic Con. We actually did one of theirs.
What are we gonna go for?
I'll just go all strength and just speed run it.
All strength.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, so that for cosplay we did. In particularly, we did some of those events and kind of met.
I actually hated this guy at the beginning, and I killed him like right away. But I couldn't kill him. He kept killing me, and I refused to quit because he was such an asshole. So, I just kept going, and I eventually killed him. I was like, screw that guy. And he gives you a really good like ring, I think.
Yeah, that and the guy in the gold. I always forget their names. I always love to.
I don't know if we should kill him.
I'm not too sure if you've seen the series Prepare to Cry, but that's a very good Dark Souls series. It gives you the lore on all the
No,
main
I haven't seen all the lore yet. Jason's been trying to show me a good amount of the lore. I've only seen like some of the sketch animated stuff for the Dark Souls games.
Yeah, but if you ever want to listen to something interesting, it's called Prepare to Cry. It's a very good Souls, how would you say, lore channel on YouTube. But like I was saying, for the cosplay community, yeah, we did a lot of like smaller, cosplay events and stuff like that around the Tri-County area, and basically got to know more of the cosplay community better. That's how we actually, Bob Space Wizard was one of the first people we met over at Tate's, and he's been sticking around with us for a while, helping us out a lot. So that was our first kind of step into cosplay. I don't think back then we didn't really think it was gonna be that big. Like our focus was gonna be as big as it is now. But it was definitely a very good thing that we got into that, because it's one of our very good things that we do. Like, we do a lot of cosplay events and stuff like that. But the fighting game communities, we kind of knew in our background, like, we would probably start doing tournaments because gaming. So we pretty much knew we were going to do some sort of fighting game tournaments. So we kind of started slow. We kind of basically was a lot of people complaining and telling us what we weren't doing. So so in that kind of community,
you guys have Smash?
Yeah, that's Smash.
Smash today.
You gotta do this or that. So it was one of those very. That was a very interesting journey throughout that, and we started off with Smash, and then we did. I think we started out Smash, DBZ, Dragon Ball Z, Fighters, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, and then we kind of grew into the other anime games and stuff like that as well.
Was fighting game stuff like your first idea for a tournament, or did you ever think of like a family-friendly like Mario Kart?
We actually we did do Mario Kart in the beginning, as well as we actually tried to do some tournaments on like the machines. Like, we tried one with Pong and stuff like that. Just got more of a family-friendly, anybody can join. No, it's not like a high ceiling cap type of deal. But those kind of fell off, so we just kind of stuck toward the all the well-known games, because it's not really worth like all the smaller niche games that people like. You would think Halo and stuff like that, but it didn't really turn out to be that well, to be honest.
So trial and error.
Pretty much. To be honest, this whole, like I said, me and Eddie don't come from a gaming background, so it was very much trial and error for all the tournaments. Then we just got, started talking to different people. Silver Senpai, he used to come over here with his PS4 and plug it in this play in the back. That's kind of how we met him.
So Senpai wasn't like an older friend.
No, he was.
I was doing so good, and I got game raped, man.
That's Dark Souls. But yeah, no. Senpai came around, started. He brought his PS4 and started playing PS4 in the back, and kind of Eddie first talked to him, and then that's kind of how that ball got rolling, and then the whole tournament, the whole organizer thing came. from just kind of just talking and stuff like that, and just seeing what we were about, and just making a friendship out of that.
I didn't even think to change the weapon. We had like much better weapons than the bat at this point.
But that's how all that started. Tournaments, yeah, it's always interesting with the tournament stuff. Because I never really ran anything like that, so it was a whole new experience for me and Eddie.
Yeah, if you guys never got to see Flynns Arcade when they were doing the older tournaments, we came for Tekken before, and they still hadn't expanded yet, so they were either like outside or they had it in the front, and they had like some spaces in the back where you would like go and then you would report your scores and everything. It was tight. It was a tight space.
Yeah,
it was still worth it for the tournaments.
Yeah, it was a little tight, the whole outside stuff. That was the whole COVID thing. But even, I remember doing the tournaments and it was very tight.
Yeah, that's another thing. How did you guys feel when around the time you guys opened, you'd only been open like a few months before COVID
Yeah, we
hit.
opened in December and we had to close in March. So it was a very short window. And, you know, thank God that me and Eddie both had prior business experience and trying to basically kind of knew we had to kind of stockpile money just in case anything, and you know, the whole COVID thing happened. So thank God.
Were you guys ever worried about what would happen to arcades after that whole thing?
Oh yeah,
like you weren't sure like if you would change your business idea to something else, or were you guys going to continue trying to make it work and think of other ways around it?
We always thought we always knew we were gonna try to make it work. Is this one of the whole COVID thing was one of those things that you couldn't really anticipate. So it was one of those things where you didn't know if you were gonna, you know, how should I say, go on. Is the way it was looking, nobody really knew what the whole nobody really knew what was gonna go on after the whole COVID thing or how long it would have lasted. But we had like a lot of help from the community. We did like do like a fundraiser for you know, help pay bills, and that did help out a lot. So we always had backups. Like I said, we had a decent amount of money like stored up just because those few months that we were open, we were kind of stockpiling money just because we knew we needed a cushion if anything did happen, and thank God we did, and
yeah,
COVID did happen. So like I said, it's one of those prior knowledge of, okay, it's business, stuff can happen. So
yeah, stuff can happen.
Even to this day, we still have you know, always have room for something did ever happen.
The roof leaks, you know.
Exactly.
That actually happened at my job today. Early morning, our ceiling was like leaking, and apparently the leak had been going on so long that the drywall could just completely broke. So like we have a hole in our roof now, and it's like it was still leaking and it was getting like faster, so they're working on fixing that. So you never know when you're gonna have to put a good, how much would you say that is to fix? Probably not too much because it's drywall, but
not
it
too
could
much,
be the
but
piping.
it's more of if you're in a restaurant and everything else, that's one of those things where it's like, oh, you don't really want a health inspector coming in and seeing that, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's like a big problem. So
then you don't
right
want.
away.
Then people are looking like, oh, why is there a leak in the roof? That's. Yeah. And where did you say you work at? You said
Starbucks.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's just like, I don't know if people would want to see a roof leak in a place of either making coffee or like a snack or anything like that.
Let's see if he can get past this part. The souls! Nope. He didn't even grab the soul! Dang, we're gonna have to come back to it. So, some other questions people might have is, how come you guys decided to go with Margate specifically? Because for us, at least, in being in Florida like most of my life, I've went back and forth between Miami, Orlando, Hollywood. I even knew about Fort Lauderdale, Kendall, Doral, stuff like that, but I knew nothing about Margate. It wasn't exactly like a location
big city,
you think
yeah.
of.
Margate's a very small city. Unfortunately, like there's a couple reasonings why we picked Margate. there's a lot of school zones. If many people don't realize it, but there's actually a lot. There's 5 schools in walking distance to Flynns, and one of our main ones. Oop, oh, oh.
This is what I get for trying to cheat. No.
Yeah. There's around 5 schools in the area of Flynns, and that's one of the main reasons why we opened up in Margate, as well as it is closer to Eddie's house, so it's easy for him if ever something ever did go wrong. He always wants somebody close by, as well as the rent. The rent was cheap. You know, Broward is that central point of Miami and West Palm, so that's another reason. We kind of knew we were going to go in the Broward area. We looked around like Fort Lauderdale and like the Broward area, so we kind of always knew we were going to be in the Broward, like mid Tri-County area. That's how kind of Margate kind of fell into place, as well as we were looking at. We didn't want to open up a place that was too big, and like I said, Margate Flynns originally was around 1,400. No, around it was around 1,400, 1,600 square feet. So it wasn't too big. It was pretty much what we could handle. And that's another factor that we kind of looked into.
There was a guy behind me. And I thought I was dead. I wasn't even dead yet. Dang.
So there was a lot of other reasons why we picked Margate.
Makes sense. And as you guys will find out when we get Eddie on here, but I already know, Eddie was from Miami. Were you also from Miami?
No, thank God I'm not. I don't know how you guys live in Miami. It's too crazy down there. No, I still live up in Wellington, in the West Palm Beach area.
Wellington. That sounds very fancy and very white.
Yeah, so that's where I'm still up in the West Palm Beach area.
So when you guys got together for the business plan, Eddie was already living in Margate, and you were already pretty close by.
I wouldn't say close by.
Like West Palm Beach. It's not that close?
Nah, it's about a 45-minute drive.
Dang, and you come here every day.
Yeah, every day. Yep, every day, 7 days a week.
So when you guys started, it was mainly just you two in the storefront, but what were your plans for like getting employees and getting other people involved?
We did have a plan, but that kind of went out the window with COVID.
Yeah, true.
So, and now we have 2 employees. It's doing pretty well now. We're looking like hopefully soon we can grow more.
You hear that, guys? They might be hiring.
Maybe, I don't know yet, but we'll see. We've been getting back on our feet. It's been going very, summertime has picked up. We've been doing a lot of summer camps, not schools.
Yeah.
So it's been a good summer. So it's definitely helped out a lot, and we're just kind of seeing how it goes from there.
So how did you find your first 2 employees? Because we know we got Terry and we got Jess, right?
Yeah, Terry used to come in and play. Actually, I think she played Tekken, and
Nice.
she used to come in and play DDR. Jess was going out with a guy that used to come here. Well, he still comes here for the tournaments. So basically, she found us through him, and I actually think she worked over at Broward College, community college, and I think she was helping out with their game club or something like that.
I think she told me something like that.
Yeah, she came and asking for help, or if they did anything with if we did anything with colleges and stuff, and that's how she kind of met us through that as well.
You guys, having met them and seeing them come as regulars, you're like, these 2 are the ones.
Well, yeah, we kind of saw how we want to see how they work. If they're talkative. There's different things that we kind of look in people, and they've been here, they've been around, so it was like one of those that seemed like a right fit.
And you guys didn't have any like friends that you were considering working with or having like as part of the team off the bat?
We did have, my family did help out some nights. I know Eddie's wife did help out. They still do if we ask them. But like friend-wise, there was a time when I asked my friend, the guy that did help, or the one that we did, kind of go with the retro kids, like I said. But he didn't he didn't really go with us, and he had different plans, so it was just one of those.
Suggest you heal?
Yeah.
Oh, he's
healing now. But yeah, no, we've had some people, but we just didn't really go through as planned. So that's kind of like, unfortunately, business is like one of those. In my opinion, I'll do it myself. I don't like asking people for help, and sometimes friends you can't really rely on too much for your own business. So
Yeah.
me and Eddie always kind of just like, okay, let's do this, and just did it ourselves. Well, I think I did. Nope.
Oh. He lives. So, for your involvement with the arcade, what was, I would say, like your favorite part, the most part you felt the most involved in? We know that Eddie like actually knows how to make and build some of the machines.
I do.
Would you say like you started off with a lot of the FGC stuff? Because I heard that you were helping run the brackets and stuff like that. If there was like a certain aspect of the arcade that you're like, okay, this is gonna be my baby.
The FGC
Besides Warhammer.
the FGC stuff, it was funny because me and Eddie, like I said, we never been in that arena. Like we always kind of, it was funny because I was always we used to pick like what tournaments you want to run. So I always did the DBZ, the Mortal Kombat. No, I think, yeah, no, I used to do the other, like the DBZ stuff and like all the other games, and he would do the Smash on Saturday nights. And it's funny because
Eddie running Smash.
yeah, he used to.
See that. I would love to see that.
Of course, we didn't have the following that we do have now, but he used to run the Smash tournaments and the Mario Kart tournaments, and I would run all the other tournaments. And it was like I said, it was a learning curve for both of us on that type of stuff. And it kind of like a phased out, and it was starting more of a I do all the tournaments, and he was doing all the other stuff. So I just kind of got stuck doing all the tournaments.
Finally have use for the
the master key, right? I knew it was something.
This is a really good shortcut, actually. What if it was a mimic? It would have been really funny.
That would suck.
I think the first area they introduced the mimic is Anolondo.
I think so too. But the thing with, like, I do know how to make the machines. Like, me and Eddie, that was another trial and error. We both know how to make them. So, I choose, I don't really do it because I know Eddie, he does enjoy doing that. So I don't really do that a whole lot. If machines do need to be fixed, I can always fix them. It's not like I don't know how to do that. But Eddie does like enjoying it. For me, the most I've involved with was the construction. I'm not a big, like, I own a construction business, but I've been trying to get out of it. So that's why another reason why I kind of
want to do something more fun.
I used to like it. Now it's just it's one of those things, like, you grew up. I've always done it. Like, my dad owned the business. I've been doing it since I was in middle school, elementary. But it's just one of those things where you grew up and you did so much, and you saw, like, not a big fan of family businesses anymore, just because it just wears and tears on you. But
yeah,
it's just one of those things I just kind of grew into not liking it. I think it was more of a hassle than anything else. And what's it called? Most was like when I was building Flynns, like, people don't realize that, yes, like, me and Eddie did pool. We didn't hire any contractors. We didn't hire anything like that because me and Eddie literally did all of it. I pulled all the permits. So the most active I was literally building Flynns. Me and Eddie used to do a lot.
So when it came to getting the location, was this already like a spot that was for rent, or did you build it from the ground up? Because I did see you guys did some construction when it came to the expanding and everything else.
No, this was.
Did you guys like ground up this? Did you build like some of the shelves, some of the other stuff in here?
Like, this was not a ground up. We did some demolition here. Most of it was just open area. We did have some demolition, but it was not like a ground up thing. It was, the shell was already here. Let's see if I can backstab.
So it was more improving some of the stuff, maybe painting the place.
Yeah, it was more cosmetics. There, like I said, there was a little bit of building stuff, but it wasn't like what's it called?
Oh my god!
I'm just gonna run. I know you get good. I know
if
you can.
You do kill the Black Knight and
do
you
get
happen to get that good drop,
yeah, just like
it would be a really great sword to get. I think. Oh,
yeah,
oh my god, he's still alive.
But yeah, there was some building stuff in here. Oh, I think I messed up. Yep, I did.
Yeah.
But on the expansion side, that was a whole other level of building,
Of, like,
tearing
actually
down.
building.
Yeah, that was a mission in itself. And this building is from the 1960s, so there was a lot of upgrading and repairing as well.
Why are we here? We never got a bonfire?
Oh, go in the bonfire. I lit it, but I don't think I set the point. About to say how.
Well, we can't switch.
You can fast travel.
This is Dark Souls.
You can't fast travel?
You can't fast travel. They don't do fast travel till Dark Souls 2. The only thing you get is the. I believe
you
it's
gotta
like
sit
the
down.
Item. You get the item later. Yeah, we gotta get the vessel later.
Yeah, I forgot.
So
You actually gotta sit down.
You have to actually go all the way back. You can imagine how I lost my mind the first time I ever played this with Jason. He was like introducing me to the game. He thought it was really funny that I was like losing my mind, and he like didn't help me at all at the start. So when I first started, I was stuck in this like beginning area that we're at right now for so long, like ridiculously long. And I was like, how do people play this, bro? It's fucking ridiculous. Oh my god, no.
Yeah, me and my friends used to play this all the time. We used to invade people. We were very much the people who loved to invade and kind of troll people in Zen's Fortress. And I'll just say that's the type of people we were. Yeah.
It's so annoying because you can't even skip through these guys. Like,
yeah, I forgot you actually gotta sit down.
You have to actually fight them because if not, they're gonna chase you forever and you're gonna die, and then you're gonna have to start all over anyway. But then you're gonna lose all the souls.
Yeah,
that's why Dark Souls 1 was my favorite, even though I hate it.
Yeah, Dark Souls 1 is definitely my favorite out of the 3 Dark Souls games. I haven't played the new one yet, not Dark Souls, but the new Elden Ring. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet.
Will eventually.
Just the time.
Yeah.
It always comes back to when you have time, and if you have the energy, if you have the time. That's my problem right now.
Yeah, even if I do have the time, I'm just being lazy and I'm watching stuff like super late at night. It's because I'm punishing myself because I'm like, I'm working all day. I don't want to go to bed at a proper time. I want to stay up and watch something so that I have some me time, and then I stay up till like 3 a.m. and wake up early the next day because I want to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's that punishment relationship. But if it's already that late, I'm not gonna like set up a game and like start playing a game and everything. Like I'll usually just watch something and chill. Whoa, I quit.
Yeah, that's my problem. Like I said, West Palm is a decent drive, so by the time I get home, the average nights like I get home like 1:30ish. On the weekends, it's usually like 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's just like, I don't really have too much time anymore, unfortunately.
So when you guys started to build Flynns up, for the people that are interested in building up, you know, their own arcade or their own shop in general, things like that. When you guys started and you were getting these arcade machines, how did you go about getting the machines in general, and like getting your food licenses and getting like snacks and stuff like that from distributors?
So the arcade machines were basically a private collection we bought from a guy, and that we started off with, I believe, I'm pretty sure it was 35 machines in here, and that was pretty much a private collector, and we bought his off. The only 2 machines that wasn't private collection was our DDR and our Pong, and those were both bought from a different company, but for the most part it was all a private collector's collection.
Hoping if I go further enough, they're gonna forget about
that food licensing.
They forgot.
like we just have prepackaged snacks, and that's pretty easy to get. That was more of going through the health department and all that stuff. Basically, not too bad if you're just prepackaging everything. Beer and wine was a bit of a tricky problem because we actually did.
It's definitely a hard one to start with.
It's hard, but it's more of we gotta kind of figure out who. And the thing is, unfortunately, the time we actually got our beer and wine license, we got it at the start of the pandemic. So basically, me and Eddie started doing that whole. It's a whole process of background checks and filling out paperwork and stuff like that. And we did that when the whole pandemic stuff.
You're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get that alcohol license.
If you have a record, you're not gonna be able to get it. So that's a little bit more of an intense process and getting through that step. But it's like at the end of the day, it's a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of paperwork, a lot of running around trying to find the right person in the right government offices to turn in your paperwork. That was the
all the
hard
research on the
part,
places that you have to go to and do and see what you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
As another question is, Flynns is technically called Flynns Arcade and More.
Yeah.
On Google, what was the and more when you were thinking about it?
So the
and when you did get that name and you were thinking about it and you were registering it, did you register it as just an arcade, or was it more of like an open business so that you could have other things you could do?
Basically, on our Sunbiz, our full name is Flynns Gaming Inc. Corporate. So basically, we didn't really want to be arcade because we knew we were going to grow into more things. We just didn't know what. So the whole more thing was more of an open ending thing. Because like we said, we didn't really want to stick to just one thing. We always knew we had to branch out doing different stuff. We didn't know what, but we knew we couldn't really just be one thing. And that's how the whole more came into play.
Okay. I think we're gonna have Senpai and his group coming by because they're doing a podcast today as well. So make sure to check out the South Florida Gamers podcast as well, guys. I've also been featured on that podcast twice if you want to check that. So there might be some background stuff for just a sec. Getting past these guys is definitely one person. I forgot about the arrow.
You might want to carry the arrow guy.
I was thinking about that. I could pause for a second, or I could mute it for a second so we could go to our ad break from our sponsors from Dubby. So I'll do that real quick. Dubby basically is, they have a coffee cherry extract, making it perfect for gamers. It gives you laser focus, fast reflex effects. They have a formula worth bragging about. They have the 10 most critical ingredients for focus and concentration. And they have aminos and vitamins that are pretty healthy for you too. And they have the attention to what matters. They're very transparent. They have no artificial colors, no fillers. They're sugar-free, maltodextrin-free, and keto-friendly. Some of the vitamins that they have that I'm reading on the back of my Dub Sludge is vitamin C, vitamin B3, vitamin B6, and vitamin B12. So it's pretty healthy for you. At the same time, giving you those vitamins and the energy that you need. If you go to the checkout, that's where you'll be able to put your discount code from us. By using the discount code, we get a commission, and the commissions are going to go towards making our tournaments even better and bigger than ever. We're going to have better monitors, better PlayStations, other games going on, any upgrades that we need or incentives we can add. We're doing all this for you guys to help add to our tournaments that we do. If you use the discount code FULLHEART, because we had to make it heart container related, you'll see that the price will go down from $16.50 for this item. It'll go down 10% and it'll go down to $14.55. So you get to save a little bit of money and help support the heart container at the same time. Like I said, guys, these people were very nice to sponsor us. They're a very new energy brand. They came out in 2021 and they've been really nice, and the drink was really good. So I hope you guys will check out Dubby and use our code at full hearts. And we're back. But yeah, be sure to check out Dubby. They are our first sponsor. They're a jitterless energy drink. It's non-carbonated. It's basically like a juice. You add the powder to water, and it gives you energy for whatever you have to do throughout the day. Tastes really good. My personal favorite so far is maybe the Dragon Egg. So that's a really good flavor to check out. And if you use our code at Full Heart, you guys get a 10% off discount. Definitely worth checking out.
Oh, this gives me flashbacks to
trying to fight this guy on the stairs.
Havel's. I remember Havel. Yes. Is this Havel? I think no, this is not Havel.
I think so. What's his name, Jason?
Yeah, I think it's Havel.
Wait, we don't want to fight him.
Yeah, we do.
We do. We do. he's like, we do. We really do.
I just want to die. Because I know it's one of those, yeah, this guy is... You can kill him, but he's gonna one-shot you, yep.
Never mind. The amount of souls we have, too.
Yeah, he was my first, how would you say, rage quit on Dark Souls.
Rage quit on Dark Souls. Yeah, he was also very ridiculous for me. Like, I was already having a hard time going through the small guys in this area when I first started. And getting up to him, like Jason was like, "Oh, why don't you go down? Why don't you see what's down there?" And it was that guy, and he made me believe that I had to kill him. So I was trying to fight him for like the longest time, and it was ridiculous until he eventually told me I didn't have to, and I was like, "Fuck you," and I just moved on. But then once I moved on, we get to the dragon thing or whatever creature it is that comes after, and I was stuck there for a long time too.
Yeah, Havel was always... He was one of those. I finally killed him, and I had to cheese him because I was just like, screw it, I can't beat him. So I was like literally trapped him behind a door and just killed him.
Nice.
So it was like
I was gonna try. My plan was to get him to go slightly up the stairs so I could roll behind him and backstab him. But that plan failed. Pretty bad. Yeah, you're gonna have to kill him.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to kill them. The souls! We had 30,000 souls, Will! We need to level up. We're double checking that I unmuted both of our things, but yeah, we did. So, we've gone through some of how you started. We've gone through some of how Flynns got picked up. Some other things I would ask is how Gundam and Warhammer got involved.
To be honest,
Since those
Gundam...
are also some, I would say, pretty big things for you, specifically.
Well, Gundam, like, I never really got into the whole...
I wasn't paying attention, because I was looking at him, and I was like, oh, I killed him, where do I go now?
But Gundam was a very interesting one. Like I watched anime on like Tsunami when growing up, like G Gundam and all that type of stuff. So I always kind of knew what Gundam was. Now, did I know there was actually a model kit building side of Gundam? No.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I had no idea until we opened up Flynns. And to be honest, I don't really know. I forgot how that whole model building for Gundam got into play at Flynns. I think it was Ben with Uber Cosplay that we kind of got in with the whole Gundam thing, but to be honest,
because his Gundam cosplays are amazing.
I
you
think
guys haven't seen them before.
Yeah, I think Eddie did meet Ben at one of the conventions that we did, and he just started talking about it and how was one of more of the unique stuff that people did, and there wasn't too much of it around in the Broward area.
In general.
Yeah, in general. So, am I gonna die? I don't know. But, yeah, to be honest, I totally forgot how we got into the Gunpla scene. I know Eddie liked it, and he said we should try to kind of find a distributor for it. And then we found one. We started. To be honest, I didn't think Gundam was that big. I would have never thought in a million years Gundam is what it is at this day. Like I said, I had no idea how big it would explode.
Big. Like,
yeah,
at
exactly.
conventions, it's probably what does the best for you guys.
Yeah, pretty much does, and I would have never thought that in a million years. Like, I know the anime, but I don't really build them. It's like the opposite. Eddie knows how to build it. He likes it building them. I watched anime. I've known like the stories, but I've never really built it.
That's definitely something we're gonna have to ask Eddie about when we have him on an episode. Find out more about how that scene got started. What about the Warhammer aspects? Were you always a Warhammer fan, or did that also like come out of Flynns that you kind of got into?
The Warhammer, my friend Rick got me into Warhammer. Me and him kind of was one of those things where he always talked about it, never really did it until right before the pandemic. We started.
By the way, we're almost an hour in. I don't think there's any way we're getting towards Demon's Mode.
Nah, we're probably not.
Jason, what's a more reasonable person we should get to? We're still stuck here at the start, basically. So, keep that in mind. It's been an hour. The red Hydra in the bridge. Okay.
He's literally right.
Yeah, after the Taurus demon, he comes up. You can't kill him yet, but it's like annoying and impossible. So we would have to continue, and then we get to kill him later because of what exactly? I forget. Oh, we made it. We made it to the big boss. So when I first I was just messing around. When I was first fighting this guy, I just always came straight for him, and I forgot about that area up there.
Yeah.
And Jason told me about it, and that's how I ended up finally beating him. Is I just constantly cheesed my way up there. I would kill the guys up there first, then I would summon him, which is going to be risky for you right now. Definitely want to heal. And then I would just constantly do the jump. What is he doing up here? I've never seen him come up here, Jason. Look at this. I've never seen him climb up here. This is insane. The will special.
Get wrecked.
Bro. That's a first for me. I don't know if that's a thing that has happened. It's a thing. I swear every single time I fought him, and I fought him a lot when we first played. Never had that ever happen to me, so that's pretty wild. Revenge. But yeah, I figured out that it was a really good cheese to just constantly do the jump and then just do so much more damage. And that's how I eventually beat him. Well, yeah, you told me what I mentioned. I almost killed myself. No! Why? We're never gonna get to the dragon. We still have a little over an hour.
We'll see. We will see.
You're gonna make it reasonable. Just beat the Taurus.
I could try the Black Knight.
He's a little more possible because I've strengthened us up a little bit. If we didn't lose like 4,000 souls, we'd probably be a lot stronger too. But yeah. So for Warhammer.
Yeah, my friend got me into it. Like I said, I liked a lot of the lore behind it. I just never really played the game, and I've always liked strategy games. So it was one of those. My friend was like, "Why don't you just play Warhammer?" We started. That's how I kind of get into it. The whole Flynns thing didn't really like. I got a couple more. I got a kind of indoctrinated people about Warhammer. Some of the guys that play D&D, I kind of.
You're like, have you guys heard of Warhammer?
Exactly. It's
like D&D, but with actual lids, but better. You have actual pieces. It's all in front of you. You see it. Which is a reason why I think I would like Warhammer, because I've played D&D with our friends and stuff, and I like it and it's funny, but I'm also not as imaginative. I mean, I can be, because I can be like a creative person or whatever, but when it comes to like sitting there with a group of people and like imagining everything, it's just not as fun as like having something physical. So
Yeah.
when you have like a whole board that you guys are using and you actually have your characters and stuff like that, it's a little
definitely
more fun,
a different.
which some D&D people do. But adding strategy to it and everything would probably also interest me.
It's a very different type of game. Oh, there he goes.
Oh.
It's a very different. It's a different play style because I've never really played any tabletop before. This is my first tabletop game, you could say. So it's a very different
Not even
experience.
Candyland,
Yeah.
like the basics.
What happened?
Not even Candyland.
I
Monopoly.
never liked my family putting my dad despised board games, so I never really played any board games growing up.
Dang.
So
Missed out an entire part of his childhood. Not even Monopoly, bro. Not even Monopoly.
Yeah, he just never really played a lot of board games when I was growing up.
Did you play them later?
A little bit, but it never really caught my eye.
Did you
You know
finally
what I mean?
see the family hatred for Monopoly?
No, I haven't seen that either.
Or the friend hatred for Monopoly?
Nah.
God. You haven't played Monopoly enough.
Probably. And I probably won't start. All I know it's a very long game.
It is long though. That's one thing that is really annoying about it. But yeah, so you got people into Warhammer, but how did you get into the selling of the Warhammer stuff and having like area for that and having your Warhammer days at Flynn?
That kind of grew from the people that got into it. We basically kind of grew into that. We had a handful of people starting out, and we actually used to open up on Mondays for Warhammer at the nighttime, and I would just kind of oversee that. And basically, kind of grew from that. Kind of grew from a handful, like 3 or 4 guys playing on Mondays to a good size of people. Now we play on Tuesdays and Sundays. So if you're ever in the area at 5 o'clock, around 4ish, 5, we at least, usually somebody.
There, bro. I'm gonna lose my shit. If I don't kill this motherfucker right now, I'm losing him. Oh my god! It's fucking annoying.
Definitely Dark Souls.
The video is more tailored to adults, so we can curse. I don't think making a no curse rule for Dark Souls would have been possible anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's how kind of Warhammer kind of started out over here at Flynns. Just a small group of guys playing, and kind of grew into a thing on Sundays. And then we're probably gonna start doing the whole tournaments, Warhammer tournaments, which that's another thing on its own. So it's gonna be very interesting.
How would that work?
It's basically like you play through games and you have time limits, so it's a very interesting way they do it.
Plus, we also see that Flynns is now having card games as well. You have Pokemon and Magic now.
We do sell them. We've been trying to get into that arena as well, but it is it's not a tough arena to get into, but it's more of who's gonna be running it. That's the thing. And right now we're kind of going through our options of who can help us run it.
Do you know people that play?
Personally, I don't. We have a couple guys that we're trying to see if they would like to help us out with that. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Then we're trying to get more tables, like we have playing mats for card games that people can use, and we're just trying to get into that community more. Like I said, summer is a busy time for us, so we've been doing a lot of summer camps. We've been doing a lot of different things, so that's kind of keeping us busy at the moment.
Well, the Heart Container is a big fan of Magic. Both play. Not that we're experts necessarily, but we could definitely run casual. It's always an option.
Yeah, tournaments. So that's another cards. I have no idea how to play out. No idea the rules. To be honest, I've never did any of the card games when I was growing up.
Surprisingly, growing up, I watched a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh. My brother had a collection of cards. He had some of the rare ones. He had Blue Eyes White Dragon. For older time, that was pretty good to have.
Yeah.
you know, he had a lot of the really good cards for its time, and he tried teaching me several times as a kid. I'm gonna have to try to kill this guy with
no
this much health. We have to have some kind of item, something. We have nothing. Okay, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, he tried teaching me a lot when I was a kid, and I just couldn't understand it. But I was also really young, and I tried learning later, middle school time, around when I was like 14, with like an ex. They tried to teach me with their friends, and it was still too complicated for me. They played Magic too, but I assumed it was like Yu-Gi-Oh! So I was like, if I can't even figure out Yu-Gi-Oh!, how am I gonna figure out Magic? So that was always my mentality about it, and I didn't really know much about Magic in comparison. So, I'm trying to see if he's gonna catch up, and he might catch up with me. Yeah. I had the feeling he was gonna catch up and hit me on the ladder, so I was gonna like try to dodge him and then go up the ladder, and I was like, nah, I have time. Didn't have time. So
Magic.
yeah, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to figure this out. And eventually, I don't remember why it came up, but Jason and me were like talking, and he decided to teach me how to play Magic. Oh, it's because he found like an old deck of his. Like he had a bunch of Magic cards from like playing it like a long time ago, and I was like, oh, like they look cool or whatever. And he was like, you want me to teach you? And I was like, I don't know. I've never been able to learn Yu-Gi-Oh! And he was like, I think it's much simpler than Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was like, I'll try. And come to find out, it is a lot easier. I don't know if you, because I haven't fully seen the video of Eddie learning Magic, but I don't know if you saw it or if you actually learned a little bit.
To be honest, I did not watch that one, unfortunately. I had friends try to teach me Magic. Like, I actually did go to, I think it was, this was years ago. This was like before, this like out of high school, or in high school, I should say. I think it was, what's that one? It's down on Taft, Miami, that one card store.
Is it the PBG?
It's not PBG, but
or
it's more the franchise one. It's
what was it called,
I forgot
Jason?
the name.
The card shops that are like franchised. That's in
like Miami area.
Miami, and then I was thinking PBG FIU. No.
It was one of them,
There's
and
another one.
anyways,
Similar.
I went to one of their, I guess, it wasn't a tournament night, it was more of an open play. Might have been a commander or some type of night over there, and I just never really got into like old card games. Like, so my friends were big into like Magic in high school and stuff like that, but I just never got into them.
I would say for me, the second he did teach me, I realized, okay, it's pretty easy once you figure out like the lands and the basic rules of like your phases and everything like that. It's more of just reading the cards and seeing what they do. And to this day, I'm still reading other people's cards when
just to see if...
when I play with them, to see what it does, because I still don't have as much knowledge as like people who've been playing it for years. But I also love a lot of strategy games, and I loved games like Fire Emblem growing up, or Disgaea, like JRPGs and stuff like that. But it involved like strategy, because it was like a game of chess. You basically had to like decide where your character's gonna go, who they're gonna fight specifically, what class is good against this class so that they have an advantage. All about strategizing like how you're gonna move your people into battle, and making sure, especially in Fire Emblem, that they don't die, because if they die for good. And if you care about your characters, you'll have to start all over so that they don't die. So that was like big for me playing Fire Emblem. I made sure none of my people died. So loving games like that, I was like, okay, a card game that's strategic and it has like some really nice art, nice characters and stuff like that, that turned out to be easier to learn than I thought. I was pretty into it when I started. And I decided to be an all blue player because blue is also very manipulative. and strategic, and you have to be pretty smart and like use your spells mainly because it's mainly a spell deck, the blue decks. So it's like an extra challenge for myself to like play blue. No, no! Why was there another guy? I thought I got them, bro. Ridiculous.
It's funny. Yeah, washed up. I've played in God knows how long.
But yeah, either way, Magic is a game of strats. But depending on how you like to play as a strategist, you have like options between your decks.
Yeah,
If you like to be very aggressive, you can go with red. If you like a good balance of, I would say, aggressiveness and some like good wits, then you would use like black. Blue is more of just wit sting, and then I would say white is also a little more strength and a little more. What would you say white would be considered? A good control. Yeah, it's government. White's the government, which is why I hate white decks. White's the police. And then you got green, which is it's a good in between of power and like having a lot of cards and like getting that draw power and getting counters and stuff like that, so that you can just be stronger. So you have plenty of ways to go about how you want to be strategic too. And my first thought was, I like a challenge and I like to be competitive, so I'm gonna be blue. I'm gonna manipulate people and trick them and use spells and shit to counter all their stuff and work my way to the top without needing to fight so hard. So that was my way of going about it.
Yeah, strategy games always like the StarCraft and stuff like that. I do like the whole aspect of blast cannon, like you have one shot. I always like the full loot systems like Diablo 2, and you know, if you die, that's it. No more gear. I always like those games more than your average. If you die, you get all your stuff back. It makes it a little bit more. If you die,
you lose all your souls, and you have to run all the way back through the entire world
I think
all over again.
It's one of those reasons why I like Dark Souls. Very unforgiving.
Unforgiving. I had heard so many rumors about Dark Souls from friends that had played it, saying how ridiculously hard it was. They didn't believe in me. They were like, "Oh, you could never handle a game like this. You'll never play a game like this." And I never did for a long time until Jason showed it to me. But you know what? I had beaten one. I'm a quarter of the way through the second one and like halfway through the third one. So I'm doing it. It's happening. I have help, but still, there are times that you have to like fight alone without like getting your help because you can't summon someone.
It's definitely a interesting game. Let's see if I can kill this Black Knight. That's
I think the strat is to take him to a much more open area.
Open area and backstabbing him.
I don't even know if this is open enough. You're gonna have to take him all the way like up here probably, yeah.
Yeah, but I always like the whole full loot system is more of a...
Or you could jump up the ladder and you could maybe fall down on him. That works.
We'll see.
I love the animation of I'm gonna stab you in the back and just push you away like you ain't shit. But it's even funnier when you're like not strong enough to kill them.
Yeah, you
Because you're
gotta
just
keep
like,
doing it.
get fucked, and then the guy gets back up like, what? What do you think you're doing?
And this like that. Dark Souls. Just went straight.
We're gonna kill this Black Knight. I'm determined now. That's who I'm gonna fight soon.
But yeah, it's very interesting. Different games for different people. Like I know one guy, one of my friends, he won't even touch Dark Souls. I got him in Dark Souls 3, and he tried it and did not like it and never touched it again.
Do you think you'll ever give Magic a good shot?
To be honest, I don't know. I just never really got into card games, to be honest. Even when I was growing up, I was like, a lot of people had a lot of Pokemon. Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon were more the scene at my school, and nobody really played Magic at my school, to be honest. So
yeah,
I always heard of it, but nobody really played at my school.
I didn't know anything about Magic either. It wasn't until like those random times that I would be hanging out with my ex and their friends or something that they would just like pull it out. But in school specifically, I didn't see it. In elementary, Pokemon was like really big, and then it died and got revived like way later.
Yeah.
But I never bothered to learn it, cause I guess it was that whole Yu-Gi-Oh thing that I was like, oh whatever.
The thing is, most people when I was growing up, they didn't know how to play. It was more about collecting.
Yeah, it was more like, oh my god, I want a Pikachu.
Yeah. I don't even know if any of my friends actually knew how to play Pokemon back then.
Exposed. Down here somewhere.
Yeah. Gotta kill these 3 guys and the bow guy up top.
At least holding the sword like this is doing like nice backstab. So Will, why are you the more quiet one? Because I feel like besides the times you're behind the desk, which I think people still don't even realize that you're the co-owner. We didn't even know for a while. We thought you were just like an employee.
Yeah.
For like a while. So why is it that you are the quiet one, hiding in the shadows, that nobody really knows is like a big part of how Flynns ended up being? No, where did you come from?
I don't know. It just Eddie's more the talker. I'll let him do that. He's good at it. He likes to talk. So, to be on that question, to be honest, I don't really know. Like, I don't like waving in people's face. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those. I don't know. I've always been more of a laid back, a little bit more of a. I'll watch people, and you know, that's about it.
Silent.
The sounds.
The silent.
Focusing.
Oh, damn. Through the stairs. It's ridiculous. I don't even know if we're gonna beat the Black Knight. And we're thinking orange tea and smoke.
Yeah, like I said, a little bit washed up on this game. That's for sure. I think that was pre PS4 I played this game. At least the first Dark Souls.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I have a PC and I haven't played a game on the PS4 in God knows how long.
Good.
It's funny going from controller to mouse and keyboard back to controller is very interesting, I should say.
I hate mouse and keyboard. I'm a controller person till I die. I don't think I'll use Joy-Cons or anything, not even for fighting games, because fuck PC, bro. Console's better. Team console.
PC Master Race.
Their PC Master Race. Growing up, I grew up with like every gaming console possible because I had a brother that was like 11 years older than me. Whenever he worked, because he also worked in construction, my dad was in construction. He was like a roofer, and he also did blueprints for some places and learned how to like draw like the archetype stuff. And my brother also became a roofer and stuff like that pretty young. He had to like take care of me when I was young, so like as a teenager he didn't finish school, he just kept working as a roofer. And as much as he hated it, it made it like a good amount of money so that he could buy all these consoles. So I had like every console growing up. I had like the Super Nintendo, I had like a Sega, I had the N64, I had the PS1, PS2, Game Boy Advance. I had all that stuff. So consoles were like always a big thing for me, and we never had the money to get like a good like laptop most of the time. Like we only had a laptop for like music I think, and like random hacking games. Like we hacked Final Fantasy Tactics because there's like an emulator for it. There was like a whole web page and YouTube series about it. It was called like Final Fantasy Hactics, and like people would change the entire story, change the characters, change everything, and he taught me how to do it young, and it was like the biggest thing for me. It was super fun.
I didn't really have. I think we had a PS1. The thing is, I didn't really get into like a lot of gaming until late middle school. I had a PS1. Then my friend got me into Xbox, the original Xbox, and then
Xbox.
yeah, when Halo came out, that's when I started really getting into like video games and like competitive shooters and stuff like that.
Halo. I played a lot of Call of Duty games and like Medal of Honor and stuff like that because my dad was into those games. It was like the only games he would play. But I never tried Halo. Never knew anything about it.
Yeah, Halo was big. Halo 2 for me. Halo 2 and Halo 1 were...
Oh, big mistake.
Yeah, Halo 1 and Halo 2 were... I played a lot of Halo 2 then when Xbox Live first came out. I remember I played a lot of Xbox Live. Me and my friends used to go on Xbox Live and play a lot of it. Because that was like fairly new at the time. Like playing online was not as big as it was like today.
I remember one of my first big Xbox games because my parents got me an Xbox 360 for one of my birthdays. I think I was 11 or 12. That was when I got involved in the Xbox. And the first game I got really involved in was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. That was a really good game. And like a good quarter of the way through it, the game like messed up and broke because I think it was a pre-used game. And I was never able to play it again, and to this day I haven't seen the rest of the story. And I know it's one of the best ones, and it got my love for that series, so that was like one of the first things I played on Xbox, which isn't necessarily Xbox exclusive because they have it for PS4 too. But I never really played any of the other Assassin's Creed games since then. I played 3 a bit, didn't like it as much, it's kind of trash, but it was still fun, still good. And then I saw that they had, I had like demos on the 360, and they had like a demo for Tenchu. It was like a 360 Tenchu game. And I was huge on Tenchu, like on the PS1 and PS2. I never got very far in like the very first ones, but Wrath of Heaven was like the third one on the PS2. I played a lot, and I was like it was one of my favorite series for sure. It's super underrated. I really hope they bring it back. I don't know if they ever will. As far as I know, that Xbox series for it was like the last one.
Yeah.
But I really liked it because you also got to customize your character. As much as I loved Ayane, it was pretty cool to have your own character. And I, to this day, never got to play it. I only played the demo, and I played the demo like so many times on my own, just trying to see if I could like 100% it full stealth. How did he die? He wasn't dead yet. I thought he was faking it, and I was like, okay. I'll come kill you. Oh, this is the guy that kept sneaking up on me. Fucking bitch.
It's funny, my one friend that got me in Dark Souls, if he ever sees this, he'll be like, what's wrong? Like, I know exactly what he'll say. I'll just say, like, Will, why aren't you good? Get good.
Get good.
That's 100% what you would say.
You guys couldn't handle killing the Black Knight? Trash.
Pretty much.
Sure, Jason's thinking that over here, since he's so good at Dark Souls. It's okay. If we don't do it in the next 10 minutes, like kill the Black Knight, we're gonna pass it to you and see if you can do it. And if you do it, then you have the right to talk shit.
I remember the first.
Whoa! I just barely survived.
Thing was the first playthrough I played on Dark Souls. I actually got a black two-handed sword from the Black Knights, and I think it was this same Black Knight I got from. And my friend got really salty. He was like, "That's cheating. You can't use that sword. It's too good." it's your first playthrough, you can't use it because it's like cheating. I'm like, no, that's like a really rare drop. I'm not dropping it.
Yeah, no.
And still to this day, he always teases me like you cheated through your first playthrough because you got the black two-hand sword, and that's really, yeah.
Bro, in Dark Souls 3, when you get to the forest and there's like one of the Black Knights there, or the Great Knight, I don't remember which one. Me, Jason, and one of our friends, Barbara, we were all trying to get the drop to get his sword. Jason got it, I think, after like maybe 2 or 3 tries or something. And he just continued the game with that, and it was just super OP, and it was like super helpful. Me and Barbaro kept trying for the longest time, and we never got it, and I gave up because I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember my friend being all mad. We were in the party chat on Xbox 360, and I told him what I got. He was like, is this good? And he did not.
I don't even have heals. This is not gonna happen. I wasn't expecting him to go through.
It's a very interesting game, that's for sure. Always cracks me up.
We're definitely gonna pass it to you soon to see if you can do it, Jason. I'm gonna put you on stream real quick.
I'll probably do a one shot, then we'll like just get good.
Get good. But yeah, we went through some of how you got started, some of your interests. Wow. Okay. Some of the things that you're super involved in. So what would you say are the biggest things that you do now in general for Flynns?
To be honest, Eddie takes care of like the social media. He takes care of a lot of the taxes, a lot of the stuff like that. I take care of like the actual storefront. So I do like the inventory. I do the Gundam. When the Gundam comes in, I usually price it, put it in the system, make sure everything is stocked. Basically, everything the storefront does. Not everything, but a decent majority I do it. Eddie, like I said, does all the Instagram, Facebook, all the posts, all the announcements, and he gets like he talks to all the organizers for all the events, and he sets that up. And basically, I kind of take care of the actual store.
Do you ever go to a convention? We're trying to bring this stuff in for Flynns, and they think Eddie is like the only owner, so they just don't let you in.
No, never happened. Nah, hasn't happened yet. But I could see it.
You can see it happening.
Yeah.
Them being like, who are you? we said Flynns Arcade. Where's Eddie?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm co-owner. You're what? I'm the co-owner. Prove it.
At that time, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go get something to eat. It's like,
I'm just gonna wait for Eddie to come. He'll be here in like 10 minutes. He'll vouch for you. It's really funny. 2 things about my first impressions of Will when I was meeting him at Flynns. Like I said before, I did think he was just an employee. Had no idea he was the co-owner. And then I also thought that Will was much older. I thought he was like Eddie's age, like late 30s or so. And that's why he was so quiet, because I thought he was just like a grumpy old man. So I was like, oh, he's not super into this stuff or talking with people, He's just one of the owners, just managing the store, doing his thing. And then we all went out to eat after helping with the convention, and I found out that Will's only like 26, 27. Literally Jason's age, my partner's age. So I was like, what? I thought you guys are the same. It's the beard and the quietness that made me think that. So I was like, wow, I can't believe he's like around our age. The second thing is, the second I found that out, I was like, holy shit, my dynamic for the cafe is the same exact dynamic you guys have, because Jason's also 27. Not that I'm like 10 years older, but we have a 5-year age difference, so I'm like 21, gonna be 22 soon. and like we have an age difference as well. Jason did meet me not like in school, but I was going to school, so he did take me to school.
There you
like
go,
towards
Jason.
the end. Oh, he did it, bro. He did it. It's because he cheated. He used the electric powder, bro. He used the powder. He got good. And you got the sword. Let's go.
Yeah,
We're not strong enough to carry
it.
But still. Well, you could try two-handed.
Yeah,
you might be able.
Actually, let's see.
Well, what
let's
if you
run back?
Now you have to level up first to see.
Yeah.
Do have a good amount of souls, so you could. Well, we did it, guys. We did what we need. Okay, next 30 minutes, we gotta beat the gargoyle. We gotta at least get past this area. But yeah, we do have like an age difference. He did take me to school, like my senior year for like a little bit. I did graduate like early, like halfway through the year, because I was just rushing to finish. So I was like, double up my classes, give me some online stuff, whatever. I only need like 2 credits to graduate anyway, which was like English and history. So I was like, whatever, I'm gonna double it up. I'm gonna graduate early. I don't want to be here. I'm working. I'm focused on my job. Which worked out because the year that I was graduating was like COVID times. So literally the second COVID hit, like I was still technically in school. So people like just started doing online school and it was hell. And I was already graduated. Like I already finished halfway through the year by the second quarter. And everyone like shit on me for trying to graduate early or whatever. And I was like, yeah, but guess what? I didn't have to deal with that shit. So during that time, the little bit of time, because we met like a little later when I was like finishing, he took me to school like a few random weeks. People probably like, who's this little Mexican dropping her off? So we met during that time. So we also had that high school connection, kinda. And Jason's also 27, and he's also the very quiet one. He doesn't really like talking to people. He's more introverted. He keeps to himself. I forgot we named our guy Kirby.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like what's the stats you need to actually.
The stats needed?
Yeah.
It doesn't say when you toggle the status? Or no, I think it should be in the item. I don't think it's going to be in the equipment area. You'll have to go to the actual... Wait, it should tell you. Physical defense
20,
needs to be
18.
7.
I don't think we're gonna have enough. We're gonna need a little bit, one more level.
I mean,
think we can
by the time we finish the gargoyle, maybe.
Yeah.
If we can get equipped the Black Knight sword, it'll be worth it. You could still do it, but you're gonna have terrible heavy rolls, and it's gonna be like weird. Heavy roll. But yeah, Jason's also the quiet one for people that don't know, which we will do our episode introducing Jason, otherwise known as Non-Entity, so that you guys get the chance to meet the duo that is the heart container. Because not everyone realizes sometimes. But Jason is also the co-owner of the heart container. Not legally, because technically it's just me, but I consider him the co-owner. And he'll help take it over later on. And he is like the more introverted one. He doesn't really talk with anybody, but if we have events, he'll help take care of the events and he'll talk with them if he has to, and he'll help sell whatever items we're selling. He'll help me package everything. He helps me like financially getting things that we need for supplies or whatever. He helps take me to the events like in our car, because I could, but it's a lot of heavy lifting for some of the stuff we have and everything. So he does more of the manual labor, more of the helping out with inventory, stuff like that, while I do all the baking and I do all the pricing and I do all the social media, because he also doesn't use social media very much or know how to use it as much.
Yeah, it's one thing I lack in very much. Oh, then I kind of choose not to do social media.
Yeah.
I just don't like a lot of people. Unfortunately, social media is just like I'm good on hearing people talk about stuff. I'm just like, I'm good.
You don't really care.
Yeah, like
Jason's
too many,
the exact same way.
too much stuff that I really don't care. That shouldn't really. People, I don't care about like what you did in the day. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, you ate ramen today? Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you went to this restaurant.
Good for you.
Yeah. Let me see I don't need a picture of what you ate today. So I can go on my day.
Yeah, I would say Jason's pretty much the same way. On top of not really knowing how to use social media as much as me, I had to do a lot of learning. I had to learn how to do these streams and the podcast stuff and the Twitch stuff for all the tournaments and stuff like that. Which I've talked about on Senpai's podcast. Now people don't realize that I was the head behind all of that too, just because I have Jason take care of it now. Since I taught him how to do all that stuff, and now he mainly runs the tournaments for me. He'll help commentate a bit, but we usually let like other people come in and make it more fun. And I'm basically the face as well, and I talk to everybody and get the events started, and sometimes they don't even know I have a partner.
It's always funny when you first started out doing tournaments, people wanted commentary, and I used to hate doing commentary. Like, people would always ask us commentary, and like I don't know fighting games that much, so just like me commentating, it was like, oh, you hit him, oh, you get uppercut.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what are you supposed to say? I'm like, you're talking to a
we
guy
had
who
to
has
learn that over time too. I still do that sometimes because I still don't know all the combos for specific. Like, I know specific characters, but if it's like a character I don't know, like Bob or something from the last tournament, I don't know his down forward one or what it's gonna look like. And it took me a bit to even learn the angles for the down forward and the +1 or +2, because I just say X, circle, or square because I use a controller, and people don't do that. So I have to like say the 1 or 2. So I've been learning that. But before I would just be like, it's a low kick, it's a high kick. I still do that, but I have like a little more of the tech talk going on as I'm learning.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I have gotten decent at is asking people when they're talking about something I have no idea. That's unfortunately, that's one thing I have learned, unfortunately, how to do very, not well, but you know, it's...
Yes. Yeah, he did the...
Yeah, that game,
he
yeah,
did the
I've heard
Dragon
about
Ball
that game,
Super
yeah. Oh, you did this move? Oh, yeah. It's funny, it's a very different world, and like I said, not coming from like a gaming or a video game or like entertainment background, through construction and same thing with Eddie. We haven't really done anything like this. It's a very new field for us. Now we're getting better at it because we've been doing it for 2 years now, almost 3 years.
That electric stuff really works. I never really enchanted my swords or anything. It's so cool.
Damn.
But it definitely helps. But yeah, you were saying?
What was this? Yeah, kind of lost train of thought. No, just a different realms is just, it's a very different. We're starting to get more in tune with it. Like I said, because we've been doing this for almost 3 years now. And December 6th will be our 3-year reunion, our 3 years we've been open.
Yeah, let's go.
So it's we're getting there, but you know, like I said, it's always something new. Always strive to do something new. New games always come out, new things always popping up. So it's a very interesting market.
Which you always have to be on and like look into and see what the buzz is about.
Exactly.
You know, Tekken 8, we're waiting for.
Yeah,
and then
new
it could
games
just pop
out
any day, and then you're like, oh shit, we gotta do Tekken 8 now. We gotta buy Tekken 8 on all the systems to be ready.
Oh yeah.
The second they announce it, we're gonna pre-buy those games and make sure it's ready for everyone for the tournament.
Well, it kind of have to, because like same thing with Guilty Gear. It's funny because when Guilty Gear came out, we were kind of stuck with our pants down. It was funny because the first tournament we did was like over 35 players, and we didn't really think it was gonna be a big turnout. And we had like 4 PS4s, 3 or 4 for the Guilty Gear, which had like over 35 players. And thank God Guilty Gear is a quick game. But we were just like, we didn't really think of, you know, getting other stuff ready. We just thought it was like, it's not, you know, it's a game, and we didn't really look into it that much. But we should. That's when we learned, you know, these different games coming out, we need to be ready if we, you know, do tournaments and if we do events, stuff like that.
Yeah, luckily for us, because the opportunity to start doing gaming tournaments for the FGC, which this whole time I haven't mentioned, but for the viewers that aren't from Florida, the FGC is the Florida fighting game community. When we started, the only reason that we had what we had was because during our first stimulus check, we were like, let's buy another PlayStation. So we already had one, and we bought another one, and that's how we ended up playing Dark Souls and stuff together. Like, we had TVs like back to back, and we were like back to back just playing, so that we could play stuff together. And then we were at Unbranded Brewery because we were helping David, also known as DGK and Wolfpack Gaming. They do a lot of gaming tournaments in Miami as well for Smash and Guilty Gear. I'm losing, bro. So they were doing Smash tournaments after being on the podcast with Senpai, the South Florida Gamers podcast, which I'll leave a link in there of like the episode that I'm referring to that I was on. I was asking him like any gaming tournament places that he knew about or any people that ran it, because first of all we wanted to know how I ran, because once we opened our shop we wanted to do that as like a side thing for people to have fun on certain days. But then we were like we want to check it out and everything too, because if there's any in Miami, there's a chance they would let us vend our food, because a lot of our food is gaming themed or anime themed. So if they get like our little jokes and our little callbacks to different games, it would be fun for everybody. So he actually told us about DGK and some of the other places like Next Level Gaming and stuff like that. And DGK was one that we were like, we just randomly went to. We saw they were going to Unbranded Brewery, and we're like, let's go check them out. Let's go talk to them. And he was like super cool about the idea of me selling food there, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. So we started selling our gaming themed desserts and some of our other stuff. Some of the guys were into it. He has like 30 people or more, like sometimes. So plenty of people get hungry, want snacks, want stuff. We would be set up there, we'd watch the tournaments. I'd join sometimes just because I grew up on Smash and really liked it, but I'd suck at it now compared to these guys. These guys are crazy.
Yeah, it's always funny. People always ask me, have you ever played Smash? And to be honest, Smash, unfortunately, I've never played. When I was growing up, a lot of people never played Smash.
I grew up a lot on Smash Melee, and I had no idea that there was even a Smash game before on the N64. Because we had an N64 before, but we just never played it. I don't think we were aware. But we did get Smash on the GameCube. And we played Melee, me and my brother, a lot with the GameCube controllers and everything. And I considered myself really good. I was like a Peach player, and then me and my brother would have random fights to see who was the better Link player, because we would fight over who would wear the black color for Link, just because we're emo like that. So I also got kind of good with young Link, specifically him, instead of like older Link. So we played that a lot, and then we had like a rough time where it was like harder to get games by the time Brawl came out. So we would like occasionally rent it from like the public library, which you can still rent games from your public library if you guys didn't know that. You could just use your library card, rent a game, you return it after a certain amount of time, and you could like bring it back. You could bring it back and then get it again if you want to, and you could just easily play free games. I believe that's still going on in most public libraries.
Pretty sure too.
But yeah. So we did that to play Brawl, and I wasn't a fan of it because the mechanics changed and it was a little weirder, but I did like some of the new characters, and the story for Brawl was amazing. So we played that a bit, but I didn't play it as much. Then when they had Super Smash on the Wii U, I played it with an ex and some other friends a lot because they were super into it. That's like all we ever played, to a point where I got really sick of Smash. And one of those friends that we played with today is actually one of the I think top 8 players in South Florida right now for Super Smash, which is Amnesty. He was one of my friends growing up that was a part of that group, and he was super into it, and he started joining some of the competitions that they had at like Comic-Con and like the conventions in 2014 2015, back when the game rooms were like huge and they had all these different tournaments going on and all these new games coming out and like the VR stuff. Like, it was crazy. And And yeah, I got super sick of Smash at that point, like playing with them, and then, like I said, like he was next, so we broke up later, and then I never really played Smash again. And we still don't have a Switch, so we haven't been able to like actually get the games.
Well, yeah.
So it's just random times when Smash comes up. So once I started seeing how they played in tournaments, I was like, this is like an insane level. Like in Melee, I was considered good, and I would play with friends and like do really good. And even on the Switch, I would play with friends at their house, and I would be like really good. And then I played with these guys, and I'm trash. Like it's ridiculous the level that they're at, and how much goes into it.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than.
I think it's because you're carrying both swords. That's why you're heavy. You could get rid of the other sword. So we're not using it.
I think it's fat roll. But yeah, no, that's another. The whole gaming tournament scene is very, very interesting. It's so funny because I used to play, Halo 2, and back then, smack talking, shit talking to your people like was a very big thing. And nowadays, I always crack up laughing. All the Smash community, the fighting game community, there's not a lot of that. It's a very different era.
I would say they used to, like years ago, like in the Smash tournaments and stuff like that, but it got a little too out of hand sometimes. So a lot of tournament organizers are like, don't shit talk.
Yeah.
Please. There is like occasional shit talk from like some people that are like close with each other that they mess around. Like FGC Gabe is always like bullying us when we're streaming or talking with us. He did it! He killed the demon! We finally passed with like 15 minutes left. We finally got out of here! Well, now we gotta see if we could do the dragon, because that was the original challenge.
Dragon. Let's see. I know you can.
I don't remember.
Kick the.
Oh god. There's still this whole area though. I don't even know if we're gonna get to the dragon. I don't remember where he is exactly. Actually.
I know there's like a.
But we can meet our favorite guy too.
Solaire.
We could go meet Solaire.
Isn't there like a place where you can go kick the ladder down for the bonfire?
Yeah, there is. I think it's as soon as don't die from the dragon when you go past there. As soon as you get down there, I think that's the ladder. We gotta say hi to Solaire.
Want to say hi to Solaire?
We have to. It's Dark Souls. Yeah, I was thinking about killing him at the start, and Jason was like, "Don't."
You see so much.
And not only does he save you so much, like so many times, but he's like super lovable. Praise the sun.
Then the Onion Knight.
And he's so memeable, and the Onion Knight. So I fell in love with those characters a lot. Like in Dark Souls, I don't really care about any of the other characters except for Solaire and the Onion Knight. But they're the best. They're just really funny. Oh my god, get down there! This fucking dragon. For the longest time, because Jason was telling me it is possible to kill him when he's there. So I kept going like back and forth trying to kill him, and I eventually did. I think it was with one of the arrows. Finally, finally.
That and the sword you get from if you shoot the tail a bunch. There's actually a sword you can get that's like a very.
Oh, I didn't get I don't think I got the sword, but.
Yeah, that's a
very. Because in Dark Souls, if you like destroy the tail, you always get like a really good sword and stuff. When I killed him, I just killed him like straight up with an arrow. I didn't know that till like much later.
Yeah, I remember that my friend was like, he's like, do this in like second run through, and I was like, oh, it's actually pretty good. 18 decks. Let's see if we can actually equip this thing. Nope.
We haven't been leveling up decks. We're gonna do now. Yeah, when I play, I usually play mainly decks because I usually dual wield.
Yeah.
So I'm just building up decks a lot. Like one of my all-time favorite weapons is Arturius's girlfriend. I forget her name. In the DLC.
Oh.
She has like that blue outfit.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I killed her, fought her.
Yeah, you just shoot that tail right there. If you shoot his tail.
Oh.
You keep shooting it with the arrows.
That's like the easiest way to kill him.
Yep.
Without actually needing to fight him. Bro, I never knew that. That's
you actually get a very good sword if you actually keep shooting his tail. There's
Genius.
I forget how to get bow and arrows. Like I know there's like a merchant out in this
I
guy.
already got bow and arrows. I just don't think it's the.
You need a lot of them though.
It's not the heavy arrows for sure. Like the
just
bigger
regular.
Ones. This area I also specifically hated because I kept dying trying to fight these guys because I kept falling off the side, or the rats kept killing me.
The rats
it was
with the poison.
Really annoying, like really freaking annoying.
Yeah, the rats with the poison is these. Yep.
Rats.
Yep.
Rats. Weird rats. Yeah, I hate those rats so much. But damn, what was I saying before that? I completely
Sidetracked.
Sidetracked.
To be honest, I kind of forgot too.
Smash, I guess.
Oh yeah, the community is about like
something
smack
else
talking.
I was gonna say, but yeah, smack talking, like it's been a lot more regulated, so people don't usually do it as much. I would say for sure the Tekken community is just like too nice though. The Tekken community, like they're all older, so they don't want to deal with bullshit.
Yeah.
Like they're all like either late 20s or like 30s already. So the Tekken community is all just super forward, straightforward, super straight up. If you join the Tekken community and you like come to either our tournaments at the Heart Container or the ones we do here at Flynns, it doesn't matter if you're a noob or anything like that. They will literally teach you everything you need to know right off the bat. Damn, you got it bad. They'll teach you everything you need to know. They'll literally sit down with you. They'll teach you the basics, and then they'll tell you the more advanced steps. They'll tell you the frames. They'll tell you literally everything, which is why I've been able to learn as much as I have in like probably I've only been playing like 6 months, and I would say I'm a lot better than an average player. And I'm just getting better as we go. So the more you play with these guys, the more they teach you stuff. So it's still good to go to these tournaments and learn from them and have a good time, do all that.
Yeah, I
but they don't really shit talk each other like ever. You could feel the rage in the room when they're like in a really tough spot and like they're having a hard time against someone. That you can tell on their face, or like when they're just like shaking there with their controller for like a bit, or they just like walk away. They don't like rage really hard. They'll just walk away. The only time we had any like legitimate rage is I think I have the clip on our Twitch somewhere, but our player Soryoku was once going against Rashka, who's been like consistently our champion at the Heart Container tournaments, and even at Flynns when he's here. Like no one's been able to beat him for the most part, except for some of the higher up players that occasionally come in. So he was playing him for the first time, and he knew about him, and he was like this close to possibly beating him. And he died because he thought that he was going to be dead in this one hit, and he wasn't dead yet. So he could have survived, but he had already put the controller down.
He thought he won.
And then he like saw what happened, and he like yelled the loudest we ever heard anyone yell. He was just like ah, like screaming, like, and we caught it on the mic. He was like this and everything. And then he like went to the back of the area, and he was like still screaming. And just like left for like a whole second. One of the funniest things that's happened at our tournaments for sure. So shouts out to you, Soryoku, for giving us that amazing moment. That's the only time I've seen like any like legitimate rage come out of anyone in Tekken that's that prominent.
Yeah, I remember growing up with Halo. I used to do some of the Halo competitions, and man, those guys were they were very willful, and yeah, it was always funny. That's always, I always grew up with like that type of stuff, and I always think it's funny that nobody really does, which is good in its own sense, but I don't know. I always think it's funny.
Unless you're in a COD lobby.
Not even anymore. Like even local chats, there's no like, everybody's in a party chat anymore.
Yeah, true. You don't really. If you're using your chat in like a COD lobby, you're just that really annoying guy that everyone wants to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because you're not trying to deal with all that. You have your friends in your lobby. You don't want to deal with this random guy screaming in the background or playing like super loud music for no reason.
Yeah. Let's see what this is. I forget which one.
There is a knight in the corner
Yeah.
of one of these areas.
I remember that, and there's a knight
There's that one that you can backstab. Oh, you were too loud. Isn't there a way to like crouch or something so that you're not loud? I forgot. Been a bit.
There he goes.
Nice. Get the backstab.
Oh.
Oh no. Yeah, the amount of times I remember. No,
Oh, he parried.
parried.
He parried.
The amount of times I remember dying to this guy just because
that's
of the proximity of the wall, like hitting
Yeah,
your sword.
just banging the sword on the wall. Yeah,
Just,
that's when he parried. I forgot they can do that.
it's just ridiculous. I hate that guy. Oh, and then the wizards in like the next area that you go to.
Yeah, I
you're
remember
trying to
those.
get through there.
The crystal monsters and the Hydra and stuff like that. Yeah, I do remember all that stuff.
I think you're going too far with the crystal monster. I was just talking about the wizards in this next area coming up. The crystal monsters are like a while from now.
I thought it was like the library. Yeah, the library.
Yeah, the library with the crystal monsters. I forgot about that. They make it so hard to get past this court. I remember getting glitched out like over here somewhere too, like stuck towards the bottom.
Yeah,
like I had mentioned to you alone, but I haven't mentioned on the podcast yet. When I did play, great. When I did play Dark Souls for the first time, and even now when I play it, I broke the game a lot. I don't know how, but I just have that touch, that special touch. And I'm dying. I wonder if we have any.
I think it's like the purple flowers, poison.
Yeah, but I don't think we're gonna get any time soon. I think we're just fine. Well, I think it'll
See
go
how far.
away in time if we last.
Yeah, in time it does.
But we're slowly dying. But yeah, I've broken this game a lot, especially in the DLC area with Monos. Like, whenever we were gonna go fight him, I like jumped over Jason's sister because she was playing with us. And literally, like, I got stuck on top of her head right before we were going to the fog. I was about to drink the X's too. And I was just glitching out on top of her head, and then we had to start over again because I couldn't get out of the glitch. And then when we did go into the fog to fight Monos, at one point, I was stuck under the stage, and like I could see them fighting above and like getting hurt, but I couldn't see Monos, and I was stuck in the abyss like alone, and I couldn't do anything. And those were some of the funniest glitches, which I still have saved on my PS4. I was gonna do like a compilation of all the times I've broken the game at some point, and I thought it would be really funny to show, which I'll eventually show you guys. So be on the lookout for that one day too. But yeah, in the meantime, we are getting close to the end of the podcast. So, let me see if there's any other questions or things I can think of. Jason, any other questions that we would ask about Will's time at Flynns? Anything like that you can think of? Alright, Will, I'm gonna need to know your birthday, your social security number, and your bank account number. I think that's just about it. But yeah, guys, this is Will.
Yeah.
He's the co-owner of Flynns Arcade. I hope you guys got to learn a little bit about him, since he's always so quiet in the shadows. You get to know a little bit more about Flynns Arcade that we work with a lot. Flynns Arcade is, as we've talked about, a gaming arcade here in Margate that you can run it back. It's a gaming arcade here in Margate. It's $15 for all day play. They have consoles from the oldest like arcades like PacMan and stuff like that, all the way up to PS5. and systems like that. So you can come $15 all day play. You get your bracelet. They have snacks. They have drinks. They have ramen. They have alcohol.
Yeah,
You know,
beer
if you're
and
an
wine.
adult and you want to have like a good time, you could bring your kids, or you could come as an adult, have a good time. Me and Jason have came here several times because we used to go to Arcade Odyssey and Kendall a lot, and then we realized that Flynns is a much better deal because you still get all the games and all the fun stuff, and you get to hang out, and it's only the $15. Like, it saves you so much money compared to places that charge by tickets and charge by coins and stuff. Arcade Odyssey is a really nice place too, so you guys should check them out too. They're really cool people. But if you are in the Margate area, Flynns is definitely the place to be at. They're really nice people, and they also host a lot of their own conventions and stuff, which I think that'll be the last question I should ask is, what made you guys start to do your own convention at the store?
It was actually one of the community members of the cosplay community, Bob, or Space Wizard. He told us we should do one, and there'll be a big crowd come out. Yeah, like I said, we weren't too familiar with like the whole cosplay community, and that after the first one, it is our biggest events that we do have over here at Flynns, and basically that whole community came out in a force that night, and it was a very good night. It was very good for the community, so that's how we kind of started doing the whole cosplay events, and that's one of our main events that we do here at Flynns. We actually have one coming up in September, and yep.
It's their Not-A-Con con September. You guys can see that a little better. So that is September 10th. It's Saturday from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m.
We'll have different things going on, cosplay contests, a couple of people selling their stuff, so it's always a good time. Maybe a karaoke or a DJ. We're not too sure just yet. Still a little bit out, so we're still making the final adjustments to it. But it'll be a good night overall. It's always a good night for our cosplay events.
Usually the giveaways too.
We do have giveaways. You always try to do some
fun
giveaways and stuff like that.
The only time I've seen people actually coordinated, we went to what was it? Was it someone else who was doing a giveaway, or someone else that I was saying if only they knew how to do it like how Flynns did it, like where everyone was repeating the numbers so we could hear them properly? Where was it? We went to some kind of event, and it was like they were either doing a giveaway or something else, and they were also like trying to say out numbers for people to get their attention, but we could like barely hear them. And Flynns, like, everyone just has a good understanding of each other to repeat the number. So, like, the entire audience will repeat, like, 415. Okay, it's 415. Like, does anyone have 415? Like, everyone's, like, super coordinated.
Like I said, trial and error. I think Eddie was getting tired of it, so he kind of made that one how it is now, and he's good at getting the crowd, start saying,
The crowd gets more involved.
Yeah, I think that's the teacher coming out in Eddie.
Yeah, it's a teacher.
The teacher coming out in Eddie, just like, come on, guys, let's go. Like high schoolers, let's go.
Clap once if you hear me. Okay, clap twice if you're ready to listen. I would love to hear Eddie like tell everyone to clap once. That'd be really funny. But yeah, the giveaways are also one of my favorite parts because you guys always get all kinds of amazing merch from a bunch of different vendors.
We try to always do local stores. We do a lot. We get a lot from local stores as well. So.
And you never know. You never know what you're gonna get. I once got, what did I get the first time? Well, I remember one of the first times you guys had like a whole like magic either deck or like the container for your cards, and I was like, I want to win it for Jason. I want to win it for Jason because I didn't play Magic yet, so I was like, I want to get it for him because he was just getting back into it, and I didn't win it. I think I won some other like random thing.
Yeah, it's always funny. It's
the rush of winning it, anyways.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that wasn't Flynns though. That was the giveaway for the 80s day thing.
Oh, the 80s, yeah.
Yeah, there was like a whole 80s day giveaway, and they had like a bunch of random stuff, and this guy got like the puffed up like workout socks that they would wear, and it was like a pink pair, and it was some dude, and it was super funny.
Yeah, it's always fun when Eddie brings in the pieces. I don't even know the giveaways until like pretty much the week of, and he'll be bringing just random stuff. I'm like, where did you get that? I was like,
Yeah, like some
where
of
did you
it's
find
crazy
that?
stuff too. Some of it's like autographed, like actual autographed items or comics or like posters and stuff. So those are like also super cool. But but yeah, guys. So Flynn's Arcade, they're gonna be doing their Not a Con, which is actually the first con that we ever got involved with Flynn's. After the whole way that we met, which we'll go over more when we talk with Eddie on that episode, is basically when I was posting stuff for the Heart Container and had the idea running, he like DM'd me saying he liked the idea and everything. And one day I was like, "Can I bring a bunch of flyers there to promote it?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I saw they had that con coming up. It was like their third Not a Con event. And I asked if I could like have a table and like set up and everything, and he let us. And then we've been joining for like every other con since, and joining for like other events and working together a lot since then. So we do work with Flynns Arcade a lot, so you'll definitely see us in events that they're doing or at cons together and things like that. I went to SuperCon with Flynn's and I was helping them out in their booth um, while Will was doing the Gundam section and I was with Eddie and everything. So we worked together a lot. The cosplay, they're not a con cosplay event, is definitely really fun. You know, it's gotten bigger and bigger like
It
every single
has,
time.
yeah,
Like since you guys when you first had it didn't have the expansion space and it was already so big and
yeah, it
like
was
so like
packed. Yeah,
packed. And like there was a bunch of people like outside. Like I remember being in line. There's like a video of me in line in the cosplay contest. It is like a giant line of people outside, like trying to do their little runway walk and everything. And then you guys expanded, and now you have more stuff going on. And I'm excited to see what you guys are gonna do for this next one coming up. So make sure you guys come September 10th for that in Margate, Florida. And some other things you guys are going to be at is the Sunrise Comic Con
yep, in
August
August.
13th.
Hmm.
You're going to have like the gaming room and stuff for that, I
Yeah, as well.
assume.
Yeah. Then we're
Uh,
doing a Miramar convention this Saturday on the 30th, and we'll be down there. We're not doing too much stuff down there, but we are. It's a one-day event, kind of showing support for the Miramar area. So we're gonna go down there, probably bring a couple council setups and stuff like that as well down there.
nice. And then there's Otaku Fest. That's going to be a really big one
Yeah, that's in
in
January.
January. We're going to be helping you guys for that too. I'm going to be helping Senpai in the gaming room for that one for sure. Um, I don't know if you guys are going to the what is it? The Super Fan Con?
I'm
I
not
I
too sure
think
about
you
that one.
guys are because I think I've seen Senpai like it for tournaments or something. I'm not fully sure,
Yeah, I'm
but
not
at
too
least
sure
for
yet.
us at the Heart Container, we'll be at Super Fan Con September 24th through 25th. We'll have our prepackaged bento boxes and items like that for sale for you guys and for pickup orders. There's the Florida Anime Expo October 22nd that we should be joining as well. You guys joining that one?
To be honest, I'm not too sure.
It's Eddie, man. We
Yeah,
we gotta ask
Eddie.
Eddie these
Eddie
questions.
likes to. He's very good at talking to the organizers. Like the big
um,
main ones, I do know because I talk to the organizers as well. But the I don't really know about Super FanCon or the anime one that you just
the
said.
Florida Anime Expo. Yeah, we'll be at Florida Anime Expo October 22nd, selling our gaming themes like food items or other food items. We got ramen, we got dango now, taiyaki, um, our bento boxes, onigiri, all that stuff. I know you guys are gonna be at PalmCom
We will be at PalmCon.
September 17th.
Hmm.
So
That's up in West Palm with the first convention that's actually up by my area. It'll be nice not to drive
yeah, you're
down
just
to
gonna go down
Miami.
the street and be like, I'm here,
Yep.
let's go. But yeah, so all those really good cons are coming up. It's definitely con season. Like these few months is like the biggest that you get for cons. So you'll definitely see Flynn's Arcade at most of them, since they usually do the game rooms for these cons or have a booth at least. And we'll be at the ones that we mentioned. And for next projects, remember that we do Tekken tournaments at Unbranded Brewery in Hialeah. That's in Miami. Those are at 6:30 p.m. every Tuesday, and we do them here at Flynn's Arcade bi-weekly on Fridays at 7 p.m. So our next tournament's going to be August 12th for Tekken at Flynns Arcade. That's at 7 p.m. and it's because we do it the second and fourth Friday of every month. So look at whatever month it is, whatever the second Friday is, whatever the fourth Friday is, that's when we're doing it. So you guys can check that out. We have a Twitch for it, the Heart Container Cafe, where we always have the videos for that. And follow Flynns at Flynns Gaming FL. We host on their Twitch for their Tekken tournaments, so you gotta look at their Twitch. And you could follow them on Instagram, Twitter. I'll leave all those links in the bio for you guys so that you can check them out. Definitely a fun place to check out if you're coming to Florida, if you're coming to Margate in general, if you're going to be at any of these cons. You know, they're the ones that are bringing these gaming rooms alive for you guys, bringing the arcades occasionally, or just bringing setups or hosting tournaments for you guys. So it's definitely worth checking out, and they've been a big support for us too. So thank you for being on the podcast, Will.
No problem.
Everybody gets to learn a little bit about Will now, and now we get to mess with him and tell him he's trash in Dark Souls. Let's go. And yeah, next time, well, it might not be for the third episode, but you know, next time I will interview Eddie, the face of Flynns Arcade, so that'll happen. But I do have some other guests lined up, and it depends on who comes up first, who has the availability, so that we can do these episodes. I'm gonna try to do them more often, maybe bi-weekly on Sundays, so that I have an actual schedule for you guys. If I do come up with a day I'm for sure gonna go with, I'll probably have it in the bio, or I'll post it on my Instagram or Twitter. But yeah, thank you for checking out our second episode of Nerdy Boss Games. We're doing this to teach people how you can start your own business in this unique community of gaming and anime and cosplay and any of these unique aspects. If you're an artist and you want to open like your own shop or things like that, I want to show you guys how you can do that and not just be stuck in some boring desk job, like how you get involved in all these things, the connections you gotta make, the things you learn, and what some of these people do, you know, while shouting them out. So I hope this is helpful to some of you guys, and I hope you had some laughs watching us get destroyed playing Dark Souls. And if you guys are just listening, you should have had a good amount of time to enjoy just listening to some of the stuff we were talking about too. But yeah, good night, guys.
Yep. Have a good night. I'll see you next time.
Bye, Will.
I'll see you.